Let's go through some of the backup quarterbacks on teams we think could be contenders. Why not we stay in Chicago? Believe it or not, in Justin Fields.
I believe in Justin Fields. I think whether he's a starter week 1 or he's the backup until week 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the case may be, I think they could turn to him at any time throughout the course of the season and get what it is that they're looking for and still keep everybody that are veteran players feeling good about the quarterback spot. Because one thing I can be for sure about is if Andy Dalton struggles, those veterans will start to turn not only on him but on Coach Maggie and staff.
Yeah, it sounds like they're not turning on Dalton per se, but that they're very supportive of Fields. That's sort of like the reading between the lines of what you hear from some of the players and what Keyshawn has said earlier today. I believe in Justin Fields, and this is the one situation where I think maybe not a bad idea to let him sit for a few games, see what's going on with Dalton, if he can get you a couple of wins, because he's done it. He's been around a long time. He's more than serviceable, I'd say, Andy Dalton.
Oh, yeah, and it's good, again, be in that quarterback room, preparing for a game, but not have to have the pressure of starting it. All right, we continue. Let's go to Vegas, the Raiders. Marcus Mariota, believe it or not.
I believe in Marcus Mariota. I watched him last year against the Chargers in relief of Carr, and he came out, he did well. He played well. I think this sits him well. He's learning in John Gruden's offense how to become a different type of quarterback than he was at Tennessee in college at Oregon. But I believe him strongly as a number 2. I feel safe and confident. I think if I had to rank him right now, I think he falls in that 1-2 backup role, maybe the Mitch Trubisky out of all quarterbacks that have played significant amount of time in the National Football League.
A little concerned about how much he's been moving around. Again, now he's with another team. I'm on the fence on this one. I mean, I like his skills, but coming into a whole new offense, not totally sold on him as the backup.
I mean, Carr's numbers, by the way, I meant to tell you because you had him in your top 10. Carr's numbers in comparison over the last couple of years, I mean, he's been a really effective quarterback. Yeah. It's the lack of skill players around him that they could benefit from it.
He's been very successful.
We continue, believe it or not, with backup quarterbacks if they have to, if they're pressed to play, can they help their team? This one's a very interesting one. Pittsburgh, Dwayne Haskins. Do you believe in him or not?
I do believe in Dwayne Haskins, and the reason is because he was a starter once upon a time in Washington, got himself in a little bit of trouble, was moved and released, and then Pittsburgh picks him up. Mike Tomlin, he's not going to bring in somebody he can't trust. And I think now this kid has matured over the last year or so. He's got a lot of skill position weapons around him. They know how to win in Pittsburgh. They'll know what to do because if you think about it, they're not a team that's not accustomed to playing with a backup for a short period of time. Throughout Ben Roethlisberger's career, they've certainly had to play with backups, whether it's been Charlie Batch or as late as Mason Rudolph, and in between a whole host of others.
Well, Dwayne Haskins is solid, but Keyshawn said the name to me that's the most important in this discussion, and that's Mr. Mike Tomlin. Okay, Mike Tomlin runs a tight ship. They got a great team around them, a great defense, arguably one of the best in the league. So because of that, I believe.
All right. Well, Mason Rudolph, by the way, is going to probably need to find a new place to play because, there's a guy that thought he was the next man up until Dwayne Haskins showed up. Believe it or not, in the Seahawks, Russell Wilson. How about Geno Smith if he's asked to play? Can he keep them afloat?
I think he can. 1 or 2 games. I wouldn't want to go beyond that. Geno hasn't really been a full-time participant in the National Football League as far as underneath the center in a very long time.
Yeah, since early in his career, first 2 years.
I would say that because he's a veteran and he kind of knows what they're going to ask him to do, he can hold things together, but I wouldn't bet that Russell Wilson will miss any time because I don't know when the last time Russell missed.
Alan, you understand this as well as anyone. As longtime Jet fans, Geno Smith is not the answer.
Yeah.
I do not believe Russell
That's
Wilson.
Personal, though.
Yeah. Well, it's personal based on professional experience, right? Of watching this guy play. Russell Wilson is the man. I know he made some noise in the offseason, but that was just noise. He'll be just fine on his own.
All right, here's a name that's an interesting one, too, if you think about last year's playoffs. So the Rams make their trade at quarterback. They bring in Matthew Stafford. But don't forget, John Wolford is there. And they trusted him more than they trusted Jared Goff at the end of the season. So do we, believe it or not, in John Wolford as a backup?
No, I don't believe. I think when you look at the small sample size that you got, a game and then whatever it was, a series or two in Seattle, everybody went crazy because Sean McVay and Les Snead made a decision to start this young man over Jared Goff when people assumed that Jared Goff was healthy and could go. Based on the relationship that Jared Goff had with Sean McVay, Sean decided to do something different. But I don't think he's the long-term answer solution as a number 2, because if that was the case and you felt so strong about him, if you would have moved on from Jared Goff, you wouldn't have went and got Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and
you're not fooling me with that.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you, Cave. Matthew Stafford's got a tremendous amount of pressure on him. He's got to deliver. And I do not believe in Wolford as a backup in this situation at all. It's all about Stafford this year.
Right,
it's easy to play a couple snaps. But when you got to play 50, 60 snaps in the game and then bullets go to flying, nah.
Yeah, remember he had the injury too. All right, quickly on these last two, because these are two interesting ones too. All right, quickly. Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, believe him or not.
I don't believe. Yeah. I don't even know. Does he play football? I have no idea. I haven't seen him.
Never get to see him play, right? No?
Can't believe.
Yeah, okay. And the last one, the Browns. Case Keenum's the backup there for Baker Mayfield. If he had to play, are the Browns staying a contender?
I think they are. I think you believe in this because he's been in the league. He knows how to play professional football. I don't need him playing more than 2 or 3 games, though. I just don't.
Right.
He's a backup for a reason.
The word is stopgap. He can do it as a stopgap for a couple of games. Absolutely very good team around him, so I believe.
Yeah, and the defense certainly will help you because their defense is going to be very good. And remember also, he did even with Minnesota.
Yeah,
right? I mean, he did carry them to the
that was so long
championship
ago.
game.
That's a long time ago.